uniqueness of this has been that it's for all of us. It's for everyone that works in the environment arena or cares about environmental concerns in Virginia. And over the years, it has been one of the major factors that has helped to forge additional relationships, improve our understanding of each other's perspectives, even build trust. And I think in this day and age, we need that more than ever. And so I think it has served Virginia very well over the last 30 years. It's truly where the place where a lot of leaders do meet.
It was a fairly straightforward research proposal from VMI and Captain Urchill, who was curious about a certain sort of waste problem in the Valley of Virginia. It might have had something to do with the karst terrain and people dumping things near or in it, which is perhaps still a problem today, but it was a serious problem for local governments at the time. And he proposed to the endowment that we fund a study for VMI to say, well, here's what's going on and here's what we think ought to be done about it. And we funded it. And to its great credit, our board of directors said, is this going to be another one of those academic studies where they go look at a problem and conclude that the answer is more research needs to be done? And I said, no, this is a really practical thing which ought to develop something useful to do. But they said, before we give him this money, let's make it really practical. His audiences, all these different local officials, elected and appointed and worker bees out at the sites and whatnot, why don't we make a condition of the grant that he convene a meeting of all these people to talk about the results when he comes up with the results at the end of a year or however long the study was going to take. And I said, I'm sure that Captain Urchill will agree to that. And he did. So they had this relatively small meeting at VMI, and pretty much the people who attended it were the technical people and a few local elected officials. And they all sort of generally agreed that this was a good meeting and it was a good idea, and why don't we follow up with another one next year? And to which we said, well, send us a proposal, but let's do more than just these technocrats worried about disposing of waste in karst terrain or so. And so the next year the scope widened a bit, and the next year it widened further. By this time Ron was the man, and he had completely run with this idea, and he started making it into an annual event. More to the point, we had people from every stripe and sector and interest, nonprofit, academic, for-profit, private, public, state, federal, local, national, everybody was there. And that's when it really kind of became Environment Virginia, when people realized how valuable an opportunity it was to get all these different people together on the one thing they all shared in common, and that is improving the quality of Virginia's environment.
The purpose of Environment Virginia is to bring together the public and private sectors of Virginia.
And surprisingly, it caught on very well, because initially we had our conference, we thought a few engineers and scientists might come, but actually it just seemed like it affected everyone in Virginia.
No other state has this. Think about that. No other state has a forum where they bring together leaders from all sectors to talk about a common challenge, and we all know the only solution is a common one.
So I've been attending the conference for probably 25 of the 30 years that it's been on, and the last 5 or 6 years I've been a member of the planning committee and really have appreciated the diversity of people around that table, the various perspectives that they bring, the ideas and energy. I think it's really a testament to to the VMI planners and the way they've engaged all of us. And I think the meetings, the nearly every other month when we meet, there's a really very good attendance. People are there at the table. They want to participate, and they care about what's going on at the conference. They want the conference to be their conference, and I think you see a lot of ownership.
I would say it's all the people in these nonprofit groups, the people in the industry, people who are the actual users of the regulatory system, the nonprofits who keep everybody honest, and last but not least, the state officials who play an important role, but they're the public servants. They're there because those other people need them to do their jobs. And the thing that impresses me the most is how many of those other people have shown up at the conference over the year to insist that a clean environment is a good thing. As far as I'm concerned, the thing has evolved into a well-oiled, professionally run, interesting conference that is, I think, genuinely looked forward to by lots of different people.
We're not just hearing from each other. In my career, I found the higher up your position is, the more challenging it is to not be insulated and not just hear from the people that you work with on a daily basis, or that are in the same community that you're in. So I think the value of the conference has been, one of the values has been to provide that perspective on the same issue from various diverse voices, so that we can learn from each other why we think differently about the same issue. And hopefully, again, it's going to improve our understanding, appreciation of one another's perspective, and really help to forge additional trust. And I think it's really an opportunity not just to learn the issues, but to be introduced to the people. And those relationships are things that will carry forward no matter what you're working on in the future. Very important that you get to know one another. I think take advantage of the networking opportunities and the opportunities really to learn about issues maybe that you don't really even know that you care that much about. You don't work in those particular areas, but it gives you a chance to learn what's going on in the Commonwealth.
The VMI, Environmental Virginia Conference, is an absolute necessary part of that. And I think getting people away from their usual place of business to go to a special place and focus is a very valuable thing to do.
One of the other unique features of it is that every year it's an opportunity within 3 days to learn the major issues that are facing Virginia, to learn about them, and not just from one perspective. And so that's a real benefit. It's become a place where we can go to, we can spend that time, it's away from work, it's an opportunity to be immersed in the issues and to really build relationships. I think the networking opportunities are great there, and we're sort of forced together, and that's a good thing.
I'm quite fortunate to have seen some very great people come to this conference.
With that, I'd like to introduce our 12th superintendent, Major General John Knapp.
The Superintendent of the Virginia Military Institute, General Bunty. Superintendent of the Virginia Military Institute, General J.H. Benford P. III.
Our environment isn't going to be here for all of us to enjoy forever unless we take concrete steps to preserve it.
You are doing an outstanding job in safeguarding our environment and making sure this is a better place for Virginians to live, work, and raise a family.
What a great tradition this is for VMI since 1989, to have a conference for all comers.
I don't think any of us, including Ron Urschel in 1990 with the first conference, ever thought that it would become the legacy project it has for both the endowment and for VMI. And that's almost one of the nicest things I can say about it, is that it worked out even better than we thought.
Is what's made this conference great is you and you and you. That's what's made it great. Not any individual, but all of you. So I want to thank you.